All right, have and have not fans. Now, I said that today would be strictly if loving you is wrong videos, but looking back through my list, I only got like 3 or 4 more to do that should be short. The Eddie Kelly one was very lengthy just because that one had a lot of announcements in it. One quick announcement in this video. One quick announcement, I promise, because I know people just like get to the point. This needs to be said. Before I took like a short nap earlier today, I did see the news that Tinka Sumner, aka Candace Young, got a role. I believe it's in like a Blackish prequel series, Blackish on ABC. And I have talked with a good number of some of the usual followers who hit me up and tell me news about stuff. And it does seem very likely that season 7 of the Haves and the Have-Nots is the last season. But that video, I'll talk about that later. Didn't I do a video recently about Tyler Lepley, aka Benny Young, getting a new role in a show on Stars? And that kind of spelled the end. But when you have a main character like Candace going to another show, yeah, guys, I'm willing to believe that season 7 is the it season. But that's a video for another time. I think it'll be more appropriate to do that video after the finale. So that'll be a video you can expect between Wednesday to Sunday. Yeah, I'll definitely push that one back, but I am aware of the news and I will address it soon. But for this video, this is something that I talked about briefly, I think in my mid-season or finale predictions video, and it's about David and the I forgot the dude's name. I know somebody will tell me in the comments. This was mentioned after he was arrested and the FBI was, interrogating the man. It was the hitman that Veronica hired to bomb Erica's car. I forgot his name though. And he gave Veronica a phone call and she pretty much gave him the Toxic treatment. If you don't remember, Toxic was the guy who Veronica arranged to be put into the jail cell with Wyatt and rape him. And Veronica was supposed to pay this guy, but she ended up hanging up on him during a phone call. And that was the end of that. Next thing you know, he was killed off. This time, the hitman hit up Veronica, no pun intended. It's like, look, they arrested me. I need your help. You're an attorney. You're a lawyer. Get me out of here. No. Wait, what? And that's the end of that. I believe he even told the law enforcement that he was supposed to be paid, but he wasn't paid from Veronica. It was like, I did my assignment first and then, she'll pay me later. We do know that she was giving him a wad of cash when he first got the assignment. She threw it at him and it fell on the floor and then he picked it up. Maybe he was referring to the additional money he was supposed to get, because if you remember, when he came over to her house as like a pool boy, you remember this is after the FBI was investigating Veronica and watching her every move, and I think that was pretty sloppy of her to get the same man twice. True, he fulfilled his assignment even though he didn't kill David, but I think it would have been better to have someone else. That way it's like, it's not the same person twice. But because if somebody identified the guy who was, remember, he was under the impression he was like a electrician or something like that when he was scouting out David's house in order to bomb the car. So to actually have this same man go over to Veronica's house, which is under investigation by the FBI, watching her every move, I think she should have just got someone else. But whatever. We know he got arranged to, if memory serves now, Veronica had the idea of orchestrating RK's death and make it look like Jeffrey was the one who did it, and that's most likely to get Jeffrey arrested. Veronica would get him out only if he agreed to do what she wanted him to do, because we do know that a new Melissa will be showing up in season 7. Her name is going to be Laura on the show, and most likely it will be the same thing, where, hey, here's a beautiful young girl, Jeffrey, knock her up, give me a grandchild. And we do know this is going to be the black female from that organization that Karen came from, that, Veronica, Becky with the bad hair, got thrown out of Veronica's house. Now, I think he may have been referring to the money from that scheme. I'm not 100% sure, but in any case, we know that he's going to have a grudge against Veronica. Now, if you go even further back to season 3, after Jim got abducted and put into the war room, we know for a fact that when it came down to it, Jim tried to work with Warlock in order to get out of the situation he was in by offering to pay double what Candace was offering him, and he refused. Fast forward a few seasons, and remember, Warlock was working for Candace. Fast forward a few seasons, I think to season 4, after Jennifer had, the halves, or, basically the 4 people who are about to get arrested now: Veronica, David, Catherine, Jim. He was in jail after, I think Jim was the last one to get out, if I'm not mistaken. David was first, thanks to Maggie. Catherine pulled her connections to get out. Then next thing you know, there was a bail hearing. Jim shot his mouth off and not only didn't make bail, but got extended time until he eventually apologized, and then he got out of jail. And Veronica, representing herself, was able to easily make it out. So Jim was the last one in there. Next thing you know, Mitch arranged it so with his Malone connections, Warlock would get arrested, planting drugs in the spare tire in his trunk. Then he's put into the jail. If memory serves, Mitch got arrested because he backed his tow truck into like a police officer's car. It was basically the people who were coming to Benny's house to foreclose on it. I think also the people that foreclosed on the tow company, and pretty much, telling, hey, you got to evacuate the land. But, Mitch pretty much was beating up the car of his truck, and then that's how he got arrested. So basically, Mitch went into jail, shot his mouth off, and then next about, the whole Candace thing, saying, hey, I'm the reason you got in here, not Candace. And then, Mitch, Warlock got out right after Mitch got in there, thanks to his alliance with Jim. But going back to the Jim situation, when Warlock was placed in jail, he and Jim had cells right next to each other. Well. And they pretty much, went back and forth until they found out they have a common enemy, Candace Young. So they formed an alliance because not only was Warlock hired to take care of Jim for Candace, he ended up being double crossed. So next thing you know, he's teaming up with the very man he was he was hired, if you will, to torment. And next thing you know, they almost worked together well until Warlock was just turned into a complete monster, but whatever. Same things applying here. I think that if David is arrested, he might be in jail alongside the Hitman, and then, the Hitman's going to recognize him, of course, unless David recognized him as well from his time as a judge. But in any case, I could definitely see those two being in the same cell or right next to each other, and they will actually form some sort of alliance, because if you remember, David is trying to kill off Veronica now. The only thing that's stopping him is him and Jim need to find those lawyers in order to get rid of those puzzle pieces. So if anything happens to Veronica, it's not going to be they won't be in the splash zone, if you will, because based off the things she was talking about, she has dirt on Catherine, Jim, and David. And some people have reached out to me, Jeremy, don't you think she's playing, she's lying? I think that she's not lying. I don't think that she's lying. I think that she does have all these contingency plans because she is weak, as Catherine pointed out. I do think that Veronica has all this dirt on everyone due to the fact that she really can't defend herself without it. So I do think she has that enough incriminating and damning evidence that it spooks her competition into leaving her alone. But in terms of the alliance between the Hitman and David, I'm very interested to see how that's going to turn out, because remember, Erica is dead as a result. But remember, David knew, or now knows, that Erica is not who she said she was, but he's still misinformed, thinking that Veronica was the one that orchestrated the entire thing when really it was Candace. So I do feel like it will be an uneasy but symbiotic alliance against Veronica. How it turns out is beyond me, because you also have to think about the fact that Veronica still has that list that Derek gave her. That was only one of who knows how many people on that list. So it does beg the question, if Veronica calls somebody else from the list, will it actually be someone that will help her or somebody to work against her? Because number one, Derek threatened Veronica, saying that if you threaten me again or make me go back into my old connections, then I'm going to actually come after you. Then you have to look at the fact that if the Hitman is disgruntled, which he is, bet money that if somebody's hired to take care of him, he might actually persuade them to work with him and David in order to make this kind of well, I don't want to keep making comic book references to these videos, but in Justice League in order to take care of Veronica. So I think that what's that story, the monkey's paw? Every time you make a wish, there's going to be a side effect from it. You know, it's like if you wish for a sandwich, it's not going to be exactly what you want. I think that if Veronica keeps calling upon these powers, they'll eventually work against her. So I think it will be very interesting to actually have David working with the man that tried to kill him. So using that against Veronica, you're pretty much using her own resources against her, which is actually pretty clever. So with that being said, do you think that David, if he does get arrested, will find an unlikely ally in jail and he'll team up with this ally in order to take out Veronica once and for all? And that, honestly, I'm not saying I want her to be killed off. Death by fire or explosion actually does fit the character well, considering all the fires she started. Plus, we do have that episode called Boom Boom Bang coming up, so yeah. All right, well, as always, guys, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification icon, thumbs up, comment your thoughts, share this video around, and gear up because tomorrow night is the big night. Congratulations on making it to the end of this video. If you like what you just saw, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, or if you have anything you would like to add to the video, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to keep up with me on social media, go to the description box. All of my links for social media are right there. Also, if you feel like you would like to donate to the channel, make sure to click on the link to PayPal. Any amount helps, $1, $5, $20. As a full-time YouTuber, any support from my fans really does mean a lot to me. Finally, make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification icon. That way you're kept up to date on any new content I post to the channel. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you in the next video.